In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful, I would like to welcome all of you to today's lesson, which is going to be about Unit 5, Grammar. Mainly today, inshallah, we will practice grammar. But first, let's see the objectives of today's lesson. Then, inshallah, we will transform an active model into a passive one. Then, we will structure a correct passive model. Then, change present tense sentences into passive. Then, finally, we will report a passive verb. As usual, we will start by revising the previous lesson. Okay, do you remember the comprehension talking about listen and discuss? These 6 questions? Very good, okay? So, we mentioned that, for example, how is the Bankstua NFL said to predict the weather on the Groundhog Day? And then number 2, how did Coco communicate? Number 3, what kinds of words did Coco use? Number 4, what is the chief mouser to the cabinet office? Number 5, how did Randall and Perk take care of Christian? Number 6, what happened when Randall and Perk traveled to Africa to see Christian? And the answers, as we saw earlier, okay. Number 1, if he sees his shadow, then what will happen? There will be 6 more weeks of winter. But if he doesn't see his shadow, then spring will arrive early. What about number 2? Coco communicating using a human sign language. Human sign language, and we took that the language used by deaf people. Number 3, what kinds of words did Coco use? Okay, so he used both basic and abstract words. Abstract, do you remember this one? Very good. Ideas talking about, for example, you cannot hear, for example, or even see. Number 4, it is a cat that lives in the Prime Minister residence, okay, the chief mouser to the cabinet office, okay. And what is the job of this cat actually? The cat's job is to catch mice. Number 5, how did Randall and Perk take care of Christian? What happened here? They kept Christian where? In their basement, okay, in London, of course. They took him everywhere. They took him everywhere and pampered him, indulged him. Finally, number 6, what happened when Christian saw Randall and Perk? Okay, here Christian remembered them and was very happy to see them. Okay, now let's start our lesson by seeing this picture. Do you remember this one? Very good. Now read the sentence. Read the sentence here. The owners have pampered the lion. Okay, so here, who are the owners I'm talking about? Do you remember from the lesson and discuss? Very good. Randall and Perk. Okay, so the owners have pampered the lion. Now, as you can see, this is what? An active sentence, okay? Active. Okay, but I don't care about the owners, okay? I don't care about them. I'm only caring about the lion itself, okay? The lion itself. So here, if I care about the lion, which is the object in this sentence here, so I have to use not active, I have to use something called passive voice. Passive voice. And here, look at this sentence now. What happened? The lion has been pampered by its owners. What happened here? What happened to the lion? I moved the lion from being an object to subject, okay? Then I have to see the verb or the tense, okay? The tense. What kind of tense do we have here? The owners have pampered, okay? It's of course, what? The present perfect, okay? So the tense here is the present perfect. So I have to use the same tense as in the active one, in the active sentence here. So the lion has been. So I have also to add, okay, the form of be. The form of be. Here we have been. Pampered, as usual here, as you can see, then by its owners. Look, this is called agent. Its owner, by the doer, okay, the doer. Okay, it's called agent here. You could delete this one if you would like. Okay, for example, the lion has been pampered. Okay, why? Because I am only caring about the lion. What happened to the lion here? Okay, so why I use passive voice? Why do I use passive voice here? Okay, let's see, for example, when actually do we use passive voice? Let's see. We will talk about 4 different kinds of usage here, talking about the passive voice. The first one, when the source is obvious, when we know the source, for example. Okay, so the source here is obvious for us, and we can use the passive voice. Number 2, when the source, again, is unimportant. I don't care about who, for example, who ate my cake or something like that. Okay, so the important thing that my cake was eaten. Okay, so the source is unimportant. 3, when we don't know who said something. When you're talking about, for example, rumors, okay, the journalist, for example, when he writes about a topic or an article, okay, he uses the passive voice a lot, okay, sometimes because he doesn't know who said this one. He doesn't know who said this one. Number 4, when talking about people in general. So I use the passive voice, okay, in these 4 statements, as you can see here, when the source is obvious, when it's unimportant, and we don't know who said something. Finally, when you talk about people in general, I'm talking about people in general. And as I said earlier, using passive voice, it means that I am focusing or emphasizing what? The object, okay? Like this one in the first here, the lion, what happened? I am focusing or emphasizing the object, real one. I don't care about, for example, the doer himself. Okay? Very good. Now let's move here. We have 3 different sentences. They will find the lost cat. The cat may catch the mice. You have to feed the birds every morning. And you can see these here sentences in your book, of course. But first, I want you now to replace the active one with the passive voice. Can you do that? Very good. Let's start. They will find the lost cat. So first, you have to identify the subject, the verb, and the object. Okay, where is the subject here? Okay, they. Then they will. We have will here, the tense. Okay, find the lost cat. So where is the object? This is the object. So what will happen now? We will take the object to be the subject, okay? To be the subject, as you can see. And do not forget about the tense, okay? Do not forget about the tense. Now, the lost cat will be found. What happened here actually? What happened? As you can see, we used will. Very good. Now we know the tense, okay? Then we added be. What happened to find here? What happened to find? We used the past participle of this verb, verb 3 I'm talking about, okay? Then we could use the past participle even in passive voice, not only in perfect tense, okay? Not only in perfect tense, also we can use the past participle in passive voice. Look at the second one. The cat may catch the mice. May catch the mice. Here, where is the subject? This is the subject, the object, okay? And of course, I'm talking about the verb here. Now, what will happen? As usual, we will take this object to be the subject. So, the mice, okay, catch. Now I'm talking about the tense. Okay, so the mice may be what? Caught by the cat. You can add the agent, of course, by the cat. Okay, so here what happened? May be caught at the past participle of catch. Next, you have to feed the birds every morning. You have to. Here, I'm talking about like this one, may, have to. Okay, I'm talking about modal verbs. Okay, so as you can see, you have to feed the birds every morning. As usual, identify the subject, the verb, and the object. Then take the object to be the subject. And do not forget about the tense. Okay, so let's start. The birds, which is the object, now became the subject, have to be fed. Okay, be, this is, and feed, the past participle from feed is fed. Every morning, every morning. Okay, as I said earlier, okay, who will feed the cat or who will feed the birds? Okay, I don't know. The source is unimportant. Okay, or sometimes is not mentioned. Okay, so I'm focusing here on the object itself. Very good. Now, let's see here, okay, the model follows this structure actually, okay. This is the structure, okay. How? We have the subject here, okay. We have the subject, then the model itself plus the model. I'm talking about which model, okay. Now look at these models, okay. We have can, could, be able to, of course, may, might, shall and should, will, would, ought to, must, have to, and had to. Okay, so we can use all these models, okay, when we're talking about the passive voice. When talking about the passive voice. Of course, then we have be. Okay, it's essential to be in this structure, be. And of course, the verb, the past participle of the verb. The past participle of the verb. Okay, very good. Now, read this sentence, please. It is believed what? That dolphins are the most intelligent of animals. Who believes that? Who believes that the dolphins are the most intelligent of animals? From this sentence. I don't know. Okay, so sometimes we don't know, okay, the source. Okay, so here it is believed. It's like it could be true, it could be not. Okay, so it is believed that dolphins are the most intelligent animals. Okay, so we don't know who said that. Okay, so this is why we are using what? The passive voice in this sentence. Then let's see, okay, the passive voice with reporting verbs. The passive voice with reporting verbs. What do I mean? We often use the passive with reporting verbs. Like what? We will mention that inshallah later. When we want to talk about, okay, what? People say or believe. So, just like in this sentence, it is believed. Okay, so we use the passive with reporting verbs, okay, when we want to talk about something that people say or believe. Of course, we have 2 points to talk about, okay, but the identity of the people is not or isn't known or isn't important at all. Okay, so the first one, number 1, you use it, passive reporting verb, okay, then that and the clause itself we will complete, okay, this one. For example, it is said that she is the leading expert. It is said. Who said that? We don't know, okay, or it's not important to know that. Okay, so it is said that she is the leading expert on guerrilla communication. Guerrilla communication. Why? Because people say that she is the leading expert. People say that, okay? Who are those people? We don't know, again, okay? The next one, it is believed. So here, the first one, I used said, and the second sentence, I used believed, okay? It is believed that dolphins are the most intelligent animals, and we mentioned that earlier, okay? Also, people believe dolphins are the most intelligent animals. People believe that, okay? So we use the passive with reporting verbs, okay? We want to talk about what people may say or believe. May say or believe, okay? Very good. So now, let's see here, okay? We have an exercise. A, circle A if the sentence is active, or circle B if it is passive, okay? As I said earlier, okay, you have a structure. You have to remember this structure. Let's start with number one. Young animals are often difficult to control. Active or passive? The first one. Young animals are often difficult to control. This is an active voice, okay? Active voice. So I labeled A here. What about number two? Crocodiles are believed to be what? To be related to the dinosaurs. So this is active or passive? This is passive voice, okay? Why? Here we talked about are believed to be. Okay. Number three, birds of prey can be found on every continent except Antarctica. So here again, birds of prey can be found. So what is the answer? The answer is passive, okay? Again, passive. Because they cannot fly, penguins must live in areas where food is plentiful. Okay? A lot of food, I mean, okay? So here, because they cannot fly, penguins must live in areas, must live in. So here, I'm talking about the active voice. Number five, penguins can stay alive in colder weather longer than any other animal on Earth. So this is active or passive? This is active voice, okay? What about six? Cats are said to be more independent than the other pets. So here are said we have, okay, as we said earlier, and this is actually passive voice. Number seven, elephants in captivity, okay, should be given pedicures to keep their feet healthy. Okay, so here I'm talking about what is should be given. Very good. So this is actually passive voice. Finally, it is said that animals behave strangely, okay, before an earthquake. And the answer is also it is said. This is what people say or sometimes believe. Okay, so this is passive voice. Now let's move to the second point, okay, which is B. You are going to change each sentence from active to passive. From active to passive. Do not include the subject. Don't include the subject. Which subject I mean? In here, for example, people will place many unwanted animals. Okay, so subject here is people. Okay, so do not include this when you rewrite the sentence. When you rewrite the sentence, so you have 9 sentences here. You have 9 sentences. Number one, if possible, people should adopt cats in pairs. Okay, how we can now change this one into passive? How? Okay, so we have to use this one. People should adopt cats in pairs. What about the first one? Sorry. People will place many unwanted animals in shelters this year. Okay, so the answer, many unwanted animals will be placed. Will, okay, because I used will at the beginning in the first sentence. So now I will use will too. Okay, unwanted animals will be placed in shelters this year. Okay, now you have 9 sentences. You have to answer all these 9 sentences and try to change it from active into passive. Of course, I will help you with that. Let's see the answer. Okay, as you can see here, number 1, if possible, cats should be adopted in pairs. Should be adopted. So I used modal verbs here. Okay, number 2, cats must be vaccinated against disease. Okay, then 3, cats should be fed daily. Number 4, cats can be trained not to bite or scratch. 5, cats should never be allowed indoors. 6, a lot of good information about caring for cats can be found on the internet. 7, newborn kittens mustn't be separated from their mother. Number 8, cats can be left alone all day if they have water and food. Finally, number 9, an appropriate diet for your cat will be suggested by your veterinarian, which is the doctor who can heal, for example, animals, okay, or deal with animals. Very good. Let's move to the next one. Now we will talk about the second point of the reporting, okay, the reporting one. Of course, we have subject, then the passive reporting verbs, then to, and infinitive. The first one we talked about, sometimes we use the be and the past participle. Now we will use the infinitive, as you can see, or perfect infinitive sometime. Okay, so she is said to be the leading expert. Okay, she is said. Do you remember the first one? Very good. Okay, now she is said to be the leading expert on gorilla communication. Then dolphins are believed to be the most intelligent of animals. Again, who said that or who believed that? People. Okay, who are those people? I don't know. Okay, or it's unimportant to know. Okay, so sometime with the present tense sentences, what will happen to the passive? The passive reporting verb is followed by a present infinitive. Okay, so the cat is thought to be lost. Okay, to be lost. But when we have a past tense, for example, the passive reporting verbs is followed by the perfect infinitive here, talking about the cat was thought to be or to have been lost. To have been lost. Here, to be lost, this is because we use the present infinitive. But here, with the past one, the cat was thought to have been lost sometime last week. Okay, so this is the second point. This is the second point about the reporting, okay, verbs I'm talking about. Okay, now of course we have many reporting verbs like believe, calculate, claim, consider, estimate, expect, feel, hope, say, and think. Of course, I can use any kind of these reporting verbs, okay, when I'm talking about, for example, when I'm reporting what people say or believe. Okay, very good. Now, you are going to rewrite each sentence using the cue provided and the passive with the reporting or a reporting verb. Okay, we are going to do this together now. Let's see the example here. People estimate that cheetahs can run up to 112 kilometers per hour. Okay, so now people talking about, again, people estimating. Okay, so it is estimated that cheetahs can run up to 111 kilometers per hour. Okay, what happened here? I used the object. Okay, then I reported what people estimated here. Okay, it is estimated that cheetahs can run up to 112 kilometers per hour. Then let's do 1 to up to 5 together. People believe that elephants have good memories. Okay, let's start. Elephants are here. Look. Believe. Okay, so you have to use what? Elephants are believed, okay, to have good memories. Number 2, scientists believe again, okay, that reptiles are descendants of dinosaurs. So it is again believed that reptiles are descendants of dinosaurs. Number 3, people believe that the cow is a quiet, docile creature. Okay, so the cow is believed to be a quiet, docile creature. So now I am reporting what people say or believe. Number 4, historians say. Okay, this is a different one. Okay, now say that Napoleon feared cats. So here, Napoleon is said to have feared cats. Number 5, neighbors say that the old lady who lives on the corner has 25 cats. So here, again, say the old lady on the corner is said to have 25 cats. Let's move to 6 up to 10. In China, people believe, okay, so now I am underlining the most important thing. People believe that the giant panda is a gentle animal. So in China, the panda is believed, okay, to be a gentle animal. 7, conservations calculate that pandas may become extinct in the wild over the next few decades. Okay, so here it is calculated that pandas may become extinct in the wild over the next few decades. 8, people say that giraffes can spot a person over a kilometer away. So here say, so it is said that giraffes can spot a person over kilometers away. 9, witnesses claim that the horse throw off its rider. Okay, so the horse is claimed to have thrown off its rider. Number 10, finally, biologists believe that dolphins can communicate with humans. Okay, and it is believed that dolphins can communicate with humans. Okay, very good. Now, let's see the objectives again. Today, we transform an active model into a passive one. Structure a correct passive model, and we did that with the structure we mentioned earlier, the subject, then we have the model, be, and of course the past participle. Change present tense sentences into passive, and finally report a passive verb. Okay, and I would like to thank all of you for watching us today. Thank you, and inshallah I will see you at the next lesson. Goodbye.